Welcome back, I'm the Watch King. On this video, we're going to talk about serial numbers and reference numbers, where to find them on your Rolex. Exactly which ones, which models, where to look, how to tell basically if it's in the right spot. So without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Jumping right into it, what is the serial number? Okay, so the serial number is attached to every watch, and every watch has a reference number. The reference number you'll see on every single Rolex that is the same. Like for instance, this reference number is the 16220, correct? So that has this exact bezel. The Jubilee or Oyster bracelet on the older ones, it's interchangeable, so they typically don't limit itself to the actual bracelet, and the dials change. But everything else, the bezel in the case is always the same, depending on the watch, of course. Now, in the more modern era, that changes, but in this era, it does not. So this is before the rehot. So if you look, there's no engraved rehot in the center here or in the sides. So the only way to tell the serial number is by taking off the bracelet, right? So you would have to pop that off. And I'll actually show a picture of this exact watch with the serial number shown. I'm just going to cover it up because unfortunately people make replicas. And then also the reference number there. So I'll pop up a picture of both of that. So this is what you'll typically see in Rolex if you're buying in 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 70s, all the way going back probably to the 30s, the original Oyster. So that's what you'll typically see. You'll have to take the bracelet. At the 6 o'clock side is the serial number, and the 12 is the reference, right? So that changed in about early mid 2000s when they had the rehot added. So it depends on the exact watch you have, but there's a rehot and it has Rolex written all over. I'm not going to show the serial number on this, but it is at the 6 and it's engraved there. So you don't actually have to take the bracelet off. Now, where do you find the reference? You still find the reference under the, you have to take the bracelet off, but right there at the 12 o'clock. So you'll always find that with the bracelet off. Still, they didn't put the reference number in the rehot. So, but that, I mean, you'll probably, if you're buying a modern Rolex, you'll know the reference number, even if it doesn't have a card typically. But if you don't have a card, you don't know the reference number, and you want to check yourself, it's always could be opened through there, right? Now, these are older ones. You'll typically not run into this. This is before the Cellini line. This is like 30s, early 40s era. This one is engraved, but you'll typically find it on the case back, the serial numbers on these ones, these like dressier pieces, Cellini, stuff like that. You'll find it on the case back there. Now, this one, and this is what caused this video, I had somebody reach out very rudely said that this watch was fake and that there's nothing real about it. And that's what inspired this video, because Rolex doesn't put serial numbers on the case. That is incorrect. Rolex does put serial numbers on the case on this particular watch. This one is a 1630. They also put it on, let me get it to focus here so you guys can see. There we go. There we go. Okay. So they put everything Rolex design there. Let's see here. As you can see, there you go. I'm going to cover up the serial, but it is 1630 if we catch it in the light there. So 1630. There you go. So it's all engraved on the other side. And this is the only model that does that. The Oyster Quartz, if you see it on another model, it doesn't. Either the 1530, 1630, or any of the Oyster Quartz references. This one's pretty special because it's right before that era, and you get such a special piece. But if you want more review on this, definitely go back on my channel and find out, because this is just a fun watch to have and own and enjoy. Finishing this video off, I don't want to just leave you and you go and you buy a watch. Either it has papers, it doesn't, and you look at the serial number and it's there. That does not mean it's real. If you Google the serial number and it whatever the case may be, it says it's a legit whatever, it's not a fake serial number. They make fake serial numbers all the time. They engrave it very well. They engrave everything about it, new, vintage, whatever the case may be. Be very, very careful about that. Even in like really expensive vintage pieces, they'll typically do it. And even stuff that is not expensive, anything where somebody can make a buck, they'll actually try to engrave their own serial number over another one. Maybe some bad people stole a watch from somebody, they polished it off and tried to redo it. I luckily have never come across one of those in my career, but you do hear stories, you do see posts about it. So be very careful. I typically don't buy them, especially from this era and above. If the serial number is scratched out, that's pretty much done purposely. The older stuff, it has happened, and I've had that happen from legit sources where the really old bracelets, they jangle, and the reference and the serial number can over time come off, and that is something that happens over time. But on the new stuff, definitely, if you see some strange activity, I'm talking 80s, 90s, even 70s, typically you won't see it scratch off. We're talking the 40s and 50s where that happens. So that's pretty much all you need to know about serial numbers, where to find them located. I used pretty much, let me know if there's an era I missed. I would definitely, because on the top of my head, I have not. So let me know if this was helpful at all. If you're looking for a watch, definitely look down in the links below. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a great day.